Greetings everyone, Umber Rays here today to bring to you the news that a lot of people have been waiting for, the fact that Final Fantasy XIV is returning and we have all the juiciest of details, plus more that you probably weren't expecting. Because as you can see, our new character leading the charge for the month of December has been revealed as a new version of Vanera in the Thunder element. So this video is going to be jam-packed with a ton of stuff, and as this is all very early translation, done a little bit quickly so I can get the news out to people, there will probably potentially be some mistakes and a few mistranslations, but I am, as always, doing my best. So let's take a look first at our newest unit, Vinera. Thunder element, 100 cost, and dagger. Now, if you are already anticipating what I am going to say, yes, she is looking to be an evasion character. I mean, basically daggers and ninja swords have been combined together. Riku is quite a strong character, so this is going to be a potential really strong partner for her. Master ability, already own evasion rate, plus 10. AP cost, negative 25%. But this is a new unit, and we will talk about the commander ability. New job is a new main one, as you would expect, dual gunner, as well as a really nice greatsword class for her final one as a sub. Honestly, looks incredibly positive for her as a character right now, and I'm expecting this character to be making waves very early on next month. We may not be done with the evasion part of this game just yet. And taking a look at the master ability, it is for guild battle, so this will be one of the major commanders for that. Activated at the start of battle, 5 turns, attack of allies with main job, spear, fist, dagger, ninja sword, or glove. Increased resistance to attacks, magic, and elemental chains, which is really quite interesting. For in terms of guild battle, I can see Wales already salivating and kind of needing to line up their credit card numbers to make sure to get this, because since guild battle is very competitive at the top, a commander with an ability like this that essentially makes you more difficult to kill is a really powerful defensive commander, and I would expect that a lot of people are going to like this. Also, I mean, it's a wide range of jobs: spears, fists, daggers, ninja swords, and gloves. There's a lot that will benefit from this type of defensive abilities. I don't know if it'll be a huge meta shift, but it is powerful. So let's move on and talk about the rest of this powerhouse. Limit Burst removes protect from targets within range. It says something about critical damage here, of essentially being, I think, critical down for 3 turns, as well as then hitting with 3 consecutive damages extra large. And it's interesting because the phrasing of this is a little bit weird, but it basically looks to be, you know, a highly powerful offensive ability, as you would kind of expect for a limit burst for a girl with a dagger, or a young woman with a dagger. It looks like it'll be quite good at dealing physical damage and potentially pairing up with other characters that are very powerful, and might do, by the looks of it, a little bit of work of protecting your own team, either just offensively or defensive. The wording on this is a little bit weird, but there's no doubt in my mind that I think this will be quite strong. Taking a look at her secondary ability, reduces a certain percentage of the target's defense and attack resistance for 3 turns, deals 2 consecutive damages large, and a CT small effect. Has also a chance of stun on the opponent for multiple turns. So, I mean, it's very early on, but I can already make some estimates about what this rest of this character's kit will be. It will definitely be focused around evasion and being a sly character that is hard to hit. Looks like pretty much most of her attacks are going to be AoE. So she'll probably want to be partnered up with some powerful AoE removal. Interesting that she has defense shred. So she probably will be wanting to be put with a character that can potentially deal with removing AoE resistance. And I think just overall, I don't imagine that she will have any kind of AoE shred. I don't imagine that she will be barrier removal capable, and that will probably need to determine who her partners are. But I do have high expectations for a character like this. Both, I think that like her commander ability will be desirable, and in a defensive-based party, and then offensively, I think she'll be a really good offensive character. The question is whether or not her evade actually gets there, because I am imagining that her DPS will be strong enough. But, you know, early days, we'll see how that goes. Now, talking about the FF14 collaboration, while old stuff is returning, we're essentially expecting to see some new stuff in 2 vision cards, and interestingly, one of these vision cards will be free, the other will not. Taking a look at this one, a Holo VC, magic attack up and weakening resistance, so basically debuff resistance. We're also looking at mental penetration rate increase for maxing out this VC, and max HP up. Granted effect for the unit that is equipped. Increase magic power and increase resistance to single target attacks. Maxing out the VC for quest only will also fire attribute ability attack up by 3 and defense up by 2. Sorry, the max HP up is for quest only, just in case that wasn't clear or communicated clearly enough the first time. And I think that for a VC like this, I think it's quite good. Now, it's also for Sword Warrior, Bow, Staff, in Black Mage, and Book. And I'm not super excited about the Sword Warrior part, but I am excited quite a bit about Bow, Staff, and Book, as all 3 of those would benefit from a really nice magic VC. And this is a primary magic statted Holo VC. So it'll be a nice power-up bonus of like 60% on the offensive. Increased magic attack, but you get the idea. It's going to be a really nice boost for a magical-based team. And in quest only, I think it'll be quite good anyway. So I'm happy to see that one. Now, as for this other one, this other VC is looking to be the physical VC. The previous one was the magic one. This is going to be the physical-based one. This is a 60 percent attack up VC, as attack is the primary one on this Holo VC. It's also spirit up too, which is interesting. You know, we have a mental penetration rate one, or a spirit penetration rate, and now we have a spirit-based vision card. So, like poetry in the sort that they rhyme. When maxing out the VC, the wider the attack, the less damage you receive from magical-based attacks. And for guild battle only, critical rate increased. Granted effect for the unit equipped, attack up and accuracy up, which is kind of nice. Well, I think right now it's evasion versus accuracy, so this one does give a potential boost to accuracy-based teams. And for guild battle only, the Vision Card Mastery shooting attack resistance up of 2, pretty relevant right now, and defense up of 1. So, I mean, they didn't want to give too big of a bonus, and I get it, but boy, did you not have a button to give somebody? All right, overall, my thoughts of the new base content looks pretty good. I think that Vanera will have a definitive spot in a lot of mid-range or mid-tier, as well as potentially even high-tier teams. I can see where she will be desirable, and I'll be interested to see her overall result on the game. As for the VCs, I mean, we have one free one and one gotcha one, and one physical and one magical, basically. So if you're really intending on getting the other one, it has to scratch a certain itch, I guess. Oh yeah, and I guess before I'm getting too far ahead of myself, I should also mention the jobs that this VC are for. Sword Knight, Great Sword, or Gun. And if you say, wait a minute, yeah, I mean, we just did a video about AC Cloud and Yuna being an incredibly strong team together, and this VC essentially supports it. It supports Light right now in an incredibly well and desired way. So I think that people who are going to be interested in this VC will be interested for Light-based team primarily. I mean, there are other applications too. Dark, I suppose, could use this. And there are some other places. I'm not saying that this is a bad VC, but I think, yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory where it is. As for this one, the Magic-based VC, I mean, primarily it's a quest one, so you're probably just using it for a Magic-based quest team, but, you know, wouldn't say no to either of these. But a strong look at, or a strong lineup of content for the beginning of the month of December on G. Not too much to say in there, so let's move on to this. Much as you would expect, the FF14 content will be getting upgraded in the same way that Tactics has been getting upgraded. So here we can see the equipment from FF14 collaboration will be getting its 6-star upgrade, which is quite needed at this point, but still worth mentioning. Monthly logins and everything not looking anything different. Vanera will have her own training quest, as you would expect, and a new dagger-based weapon, which will probably be not as good as a reliquary, but we'll see if it's good for some other classes. Now, talking about here is the returning old content, Thancred, as well as Y'shtola, and a massive list of upgrades. These characters will also be getting other upgrades too, far and beyond of, you know, just some other things. So let's talk about that really quickly, about the quicker stuff. Right here, Dream strengthening of the FF14 collaborations, Thancred and Y'shtola will happen. There will also be, interestingly enough, this improved the status and attack type resistance of some units. Now this is Thancred only, but I find it really interesting that they're actually adjusting stats as well as attack type resistance. And just for people who are going to say something poo-poo about this, it has to be upwards based on Japanese gacha law. They can't nerf a character, and you wouldn't expect this to be nerfed anyway, but I do think it's quite telling that they are going to actually adjust stats. Also, we will be adding Character Master Quest 3 for these characters. There will also be collaboration revival, challenge missions, and exploration of Chocobo, as well as 5 times upgrade campaigns for collaboration units. Limited additional abilities to some weapons as well. The Veilguard Thancred exclusive additional ability of initial AP plus 20, physical damage reduction of 8%, and weakness resistance of 10. For Y'shtola, magic power of 30%, healing power up of 15, mental penetration rate of 20. So all of that is quite interesting. And for people who are wondering, no, it does not look, at least in any of these upgrades, that Thancred will be getting a limit burst. But now we get into listing all the upgrades, and the way they've done this is a little bit weird, so please bear with me. But there's a lot to get through. So Rough Divide is now a guaranteed hit, will increase his own speed for 3 turns, and greatly increase critical evasion rate for 1 turn. It's also been changed from a cross-based shape to a diamond-based shape, so it has been improved in quite a bunch of ways. Blasting Zone, this is, I believe, the first of 2 Blasting Zone upgrades. After Guts effect has been removed, if the target has a speed up status effect, target's evasion rate is reduced for 3 turns before attacking. The range has also been increased from 2 to 4. No Mercy. When HP falls below 50% after receiving damage, recover a certain percentage of HP, medium, 1 time. And also, it did increase own slashing attack power before, but now area attack resistance penetration rate is included on this ability. And it gives a bonus to all attribute resistance for 4 turns. while reducing the physical damage received. No Mercy, quite a substantial upgrade, but we still have more. Nebula will now have reaction block rate as well as hate up for just permanently. Blasting Zone 2 will now get decreased defense of targets within range for 3 turns, deal damage large, absorbs a portion of the damage dealt, and reduces single target attack resistance penetration rate for 3 turns. Range has also been increased from 3 to 4. Sorry, scrolled a little bit farther. Bolide 2, an EX ability, in the same way as Blasting Zone 2, an EX ability, will create a barrier around himself that reduces damage 4 times now, reduces AP cost for 4 turns, reduces magical damage taken by allies within range in a diamond-based shape with a range of 4 and a range height difference of 1, centered around self for 4 turns, and increases type chain resistance. And finally, Camouflage 2 now not only increases resistance to shooting attacks and defense penetration rate, also now has slashing attack resistance penetration rate and single target attack resistance. The wider the attack range, the less damage is taken. Now, of course, it's still a little bit early because we don't have the exact full picture of this collaboration yet, and even then I would still want to see the details, the stats up, and everything to do. But Thancred has got a fairly substantial change, and we don't even have the full scope of it yet, but Thancred essentially looks like an actual tank now, which is one... Well, you know what? I'm just going to say it. I'm really, really positive and happy about this. This is what Gunbreaker should have always been. It's not just DPS, it's also protective ability. And we're looking at auras here. We're looking at reduction of attack-based abilities for the opponents that are hit by some abilities. We're looking at hate up. We're looking at essentially everything that we would want. Do I think that Thancred is going to be like god tier? I mean, I think there's a chance because this is a pretty substantial list of upgrades, considering that Thancred kind of did need a substantial list of upgrades. But given that tactics was such a positive moment, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say this is going to be somewhere around the level of AC Cloud, but of course still discounted. And that's fine. That's a great place for Thancred to be, given that he was never a gacha-based character. So I'm not hating on this. I'm really positive, and we will need full previews, which will happen once the collaboration is out, and probably the morning of, after I've gotten sleep. All right. Now looking at Ishtola's witch-based job, Scion's Fire, I think it is fire-based damage, magic power to targets within range. Also, if the target is ice attribute, attack power and magic power are greatly reduced for 3 turns, which is kind of cool. Swift Demon reduces ability activation time for 4 turns and increases resistance penetration rate for AoE attacks. Fierce Demon, greatly increase your own magical power for 4 turns. I'm sure that some of these names are a little bit different in English. Grants a shell effect that reduces magical damage. So that's pretty nice. You're getting a longer attack, or more offensive, but you're also getting shell off of it, so it's protecting Ishtola more. Scion's Fire 2, her EX ability. If the target has re-raise or haste, damage is significantly increased, and re-raise and haste is removed, which is quite a strong ability there. If we were looking maybe at cost limited, I mean, Ishtola does have a little bit more survivability now with shell, and getting rid of haste and re-raise while dealing increased damage is a net positive, providing that she does have someone defensive. Xenoglossy 2, another EX ability. After destroying the barrier that reduces magical damage, target will receive fire-based damage based on magical power and human killer. If the target has increased resistance to AoE attacks, damage will be increased, and the range has been increased from 3 to 5, which is a pretty nice increase in range and much more modern than what it previously was. Enochain 2, her EX job ability as well, will get improved to, before it was increased magic power, magic power, attack resistance rate, hit rate, and healing power. And when you become incapacitated, automatically recovers you from incapacity with a re-raise based effect. Now, is Y'shtola's upgrades anywhere near looking anywhere near as significant as Thancred? No, Thancred is the prize star of this collaboration. He is getting a lot of attention and focus, and I think that's perfectly okay here. I think that Y'shtola will be a great low-cost character, and I'm hoping that there will be some more low-cost content that will allow her to potentially have some time in the spotlight, because I'm not expecting her to exceed or anything, but also for people, I don't know, maybe you haven't finished Selection Quest yet, Y'shtola will probably be a great way to clear that content in a, pretty resounding way in the future. So looking at the upgrades, not the full and complete picture just yet, but I am pretty happy with what we are seeing here. As you would expect, you'll be able to obtain Y'shtola and equipment through this event through various quests, and as you can see here, we're getting those, looks like, tickets back again to potentially get a Thancred of your own, or at least the orbs to increase the characters. Over here, we can also see the raid is returning, which, sure, why not? It's old, but potentially gold, and it is a way to get a piece of equipment that has been long out of the way, and I'll be curious to see how that goes as well. Last but not least, I think this is where we are ending today. The news: Guild Battle has got a new map. We'll be focused on lightning and light-based units, which is a little bit curious because, yes, recently we have gotten light-based characters, and obviously Thancred is here. And not only Thancred is here, but we have the new Thunder character too. But I wonder if this is a hint to potentially what this year's Christmas unit is going to be, because they didn't exactly focus on fire. They didn't give fire a bonus for Y'shtola, so that kind of indicates to me that maybe we're going to see another light unit before the end of the year, as that's kind of aligned with Xmas theme or the holiday theme. Just a posited idea, but yeah, something that I did want to mention before the end of this video. And speaking of which, I think that's it for this video. Of course, Global will be getting their announcement soon of all of their content. Maybe you are getting FF14. I don't remember if it was posited for Global at the same time as JP or not. But now you have a good idea of essentially what is coming, and I don't think that there's too much terribly else to say, at least for now, so I'm going to shut up, end this video, and I guess my final message: if you haven't voted yet, please go vote on the potential Final Fantasy playthrough that will be done in the month of December. Top 2 will be entered into a coin toss where it's going to be best of 3, but the highest voted one will get the advantage there. So thank you so much for watching. Take care and see you later.